Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I don't know why I have a problem with the intro all the time, but anyway, we'll figure it out down the road. Hopefully, by mid year, we'll figure out exactly how to start a broadcast properly. Hope you guys are doing all right. Happy Sunday to you. We are getting into, obviously, the month of March. March can bring us some really wild weather around here as spring and winter battle it out. And that's really what we're going to see as I take you through the next 10 to 15 days coming up. You'll see multiple big storm systems. A lot of them will be on the warm side. A few of them will be on the colder side of things. But it really is incredible to see some of this warmth building down towards our south, down towards the southwest. If you've been following any of the spring training baseball games, which I don't, but I have some radio and TV friends that have been covering some of the spring training games down in Arizona. It's been super hot out there. They had temperatures up near 90 degrees already, just a dome of warm air out there. And that warm air has to come east, and we'll continue to see that build and come east on several occasions here over the next week or so. So that's kind of what we've got in store. Big storm system this week I want to get us through. There's going to be a lot of wind with this one. We're expecting rain, maybe even thunder out of this, and then a return to snow on the back side of it. That's what we've got coming our week, so we'll spend some time with that. And then we'll go long range because I continue to see, we talked about this, I think it was a week ago, I put it out, that there's going to be a big ridge of warmth coming in here. It's not going to last too long, but the long-term pattern continues to show that a big ridge will finally come east, at least for maybe 2 days, 2 or 3 days if we're lucky. But it'll bring some springtime temperatures here. And so there's a lot to look forward to in the forecast. This is our last Sunday before the spring forward next Saturday night. So we'll be talking later sunsets as well. Average highs are going up faster than they do any other time of the year. We're gaining about 3 degrees per week. So there's a lot of positive news, if you can't tell already, ahead in this broadcast. So there's that. All right. Want to thank our early birds. Mary's with us. Hi, Mary. Good evening to you. Jeff, hope you're doing well there, buddy. Susan, thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Good evening to you. Always appreciate you spending your time with us. Wendy, hi, happy Sunday. Maxwell's with us. Tina's with us as well. Lots to chat about here in the forecast. Vicki, I got your message there. Good evening to you. All right, let's dive into our sponsors real quick here. FBIbuildings.com is the place to go if you need a new pole barn constructed. They've done over 22,000 of them across the Midwest, which that's quite a few. They know what they're doing. Residential, commercial pole barns, they can renovate them as well. FBIbuildings.com. Meals on Wheels in Northwest Indiana. What a great organization. Guys, if you have any extra time, I believe they're still looking for volunteers to help deliver meals. So get a hold of them. I've got their phone number here in a second. But the other thing is, if you know someone who's in need of meals, of warm meals, that's what they do. They deliver them Monday through Friday. You get one more meal per day. Every meal is $5.99. There are no age, there are no financial requirements or limitations. You just call them and you get set up with it. If you know anyone that's in need of some warm food, all right, which unfortunately with prices going up, groceries, all that stuff, we get it. Make sure you contact them. It's MOW for Meals on Wheels. So it's MOWNWI.org, or you can call them. I've got their number here. It's 219-756-3663. All right. They get one hot meal a week. You can also get frozen meals available in 5 or 7 packs, and they're all low sodium. They're heart healthy for obviously Heart Healthy Month. We just got out of it, but let's continue to keep things healthy. So there's that. What a great organization, though. PSA, it's our public service adjusters. If you have an insurance claim, don't go to your insurance company first. Go to them. They'll come out, document it. They'll contact your insurance company and get you more money than what you get if you did it yourself. Plus, you don't get the runaround. They are stubborn. You should check out their Facebook page. They've got a few examples of when their insurance companies for their clients have tried to short their client and make it super confusing. And they said, no, we're not doing this. We're getting an attorney if you want to do this. And then the insurance company just gives a check and doesn't say anything. They're amazing. They're like a negotiator. PublicServiceAdjusting.com for that. All local licensed insured here in the region. TigerPlumbing.net, those are our plumbers here in the region. They come out for free, which is great. You can schedule your appointment with a plumber online. You can also do it on mobile, and you can send them a video of the issue. If you've got anything you need replaced, I know we're getting into spring cleaning season. Maybe you want to change out a faucet, maybe not, second bathroom or something you've kind of put off. They'll do that for you. They have Delta faucets available. If you're getting the outdoor spigots ready later this month, once we warm up for watering the garden, maybe something's dripping, they'll take care of that too. TigerPlumbing.net. Minogue.life. Michael Minogue is our expert in the world of life insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff. He knows, he's got his finger on the pulse of what's going on. And he lets us know that, there were some big changes that are going to be effective, that were effective this year, and some more coming up next year. And a lot of new people are enrolled or eligible for Medicare or Medicaid. And if you have any questions on that, a lot of people sign up on the phone, they don't know what they have, which is a problem. You should probably know what your benefits are. He has no cost consultations. He'll sit down with you in his office and he'll just chat what your plan is. He'll show you all your benefits, and he'll ask you questions to make sure that it's a good fit for you. And if it's not, maybe you can eliminate some things and make your plan cheaper, or maybe you can get more out of it. But he'll help do all that. There are no two plans that are alike. Every person needs an individualized plan. So if you have any questions around that, again, no cost to sit down with him and review everything. It's Minogue.life is the website. Kate Cusack for Ruoff Mortgage. We all know her from our live shot 2 weeks ago. Some of you still talking to me about that. When are you going to get Kate back on? We'll do it. We need a winter storm. Maybe we'll do it when it's sunny. Anyway, Kate's amazing, and we're coming out of winter right now, and Kate knows that, the real estate market's been slow, but it is really going to pick up, and it may start picking up in March once we warm up. So make sure, if you're in the market for a new home, make sure that you're ready to go. Pre-approved, all that stuff. She can help get all your ducks in a line so that when your dream home hits the market, you are ready to go, and you can make an offer as soon as you decide that that is your dream home before other people. So again, Kate Cusack for Ruoff Mortgage. She's on Facebook as Kate Cusack Home Loan Girl. You can find her. She's very active on Facebook, so you can find her on there. Finally, last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've been serving Northwest Indiana for decades, and they've got brand new Jeeps ready to go. Remember, the doors and the ceiling, the roof comes off of those things. It's like a Lego, and you can drive around and actually soak in the warm air. So there's that. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. All right. Donna's with us tonight. Hi, Donna. Thanks for joining us. Pearl joined us. Valpo. Hello. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Ethan's with us as well. Hi, Ethan. Yeah, Tom, great call on that. Ground is still mostly frozen. Most of this rain going to run off. The ground is going to start to thaw, Tom. That's a big problem this time of year. People think that, if we have 150-degree day, that it melts, the ground. If anyone has those like Christmas decorations that have the stakes that go into the ground, that's a prime example of the fact that a 50-degree day does not thaw out the ground. It takes a long time because that ground is frozen deep. It takes a long time to thaw that out. And I bring up the Christmas decorations because we had, a mild day last week, a couple of them, and I tried to take the Christmas decorations out and they were still frozen in the ground, despite the fact I was wearing short sleeves. So it takes a while. But Tom, we are starting with, this weekend's cold, right? But that's heading on out. We've got enough warm days this week that we will start to thaw the ground a bit. So we will be able to soak in some more moisture. All right. And I've also got some drought information. We're on the same page that I want to show you as well. So flood threat isn't exactly high. Yes, JK, give us good weather news to end our Girl Scout cookie season booths. Oh man, JK, my daughter is a Girl Scout as well. And they had World Girl Scout Day or something. I don't know what it was. My wife went. It was great. But anyway, they're all talking about the cookies, and the cookies come out this week. So, and we've got to, deliver them and disperse. But anyway, yes, I'm ready for that as well. John says no snow. Ashley, let's talk about it. Derek doing great, and Ruth's with us as well. And Lynn's with us as well. Hi, Lynn. Okay, let's get started. I've wasted enough of your time. Thank you, guys. I always tend to stretch that out a little bit so more people can join, because I get it. You get the alert on your phone. Maybe you're in the middle of dinner. Maybe you're doing something else, and I want to give you time to join so you don't miss the information, okay? So now that Ruth is here, we can get started, everybody, okay? So here's the pattern right now across the country. We've got the cold air across the Great Lakes right now. And this is incredible cold for this time of year. It really is. We're running some 20, 25 degrees below average across the Great Lakes. And you can see how on the infrared satellite, all these purples and blues that are showing up. Remember, we covered that over the winter during the really cold air masses, that the infrared satellite picks up on cold cloud tops, okay? In the summertime, you'll see those big explosions of red with thunderstorms. It's detecting the cold tops of clouds, okay? Because it gets really cold the higher you up and you get in the atmosphere typically. But what this is doing is it's so cold at the surface that it's thinking it's a cloud top, and it's not. And so that's why you see this constant shade of purple up in southern Canada. I mean, just a product of how cold it is. But things are starting to change. And the system out towards the west that you see coming through the Intermountain West, getting ready to head into the Four Corners region, this system hitting California pretty hard with some rain. They've had some mountain snow as well. This is the storm system that's going to spin up this week. And it's going to be quite a storm. We're going to have pretty good wind energy with this. So just an example, I want to show you how this kind of evolves here. This is tonight and tomorrow. We're nice and quiet through the morning. And then by afternoon, this is the warm front pushing in. It's kind of a silent warm front until it's not. I mean, notice this. This is overnight tonight. And then poof, you get a little low-level jet working in there. You get some strong lift with that as well. And we are expecting a shower chance around tomorrow. And that's good news with these showers because a warm front's going to be pushing through. There's good lift with that. You can get some elevated thunderstorms with that as well. But the other thing you notice as this pushes through, we go from kind of a light south wind tomorrow morning to towards afternoon. We'll start to pick up that south wind, and it's going to start to pump in much warmer air, okay? We can only really get warmer from here, so it's going to take its time. Tomorrow's not going to be a short stay or anything like that, but we are on the road to improvement temperature-wise starting tomorrow. Again, shower chances there as that warm front moves through. Then we'll go quiet tomorrow night, and then on into Tuesday, the radar is going to be kind of messy. This is that low pressure pulling into the plains. There will be a severe weather and tornado threat with it well south of us. I don't think it makes it up to us. We may have some thunderstorms. In fact, I do think we'll see thunderstorms with this. The severe weather threat is really close, but again, we'll see how this evolves. But as of right now, I'm not thinking it's going to be a big severe event for us. But notice how the radar gets messy on Tuesday. There's going to be tremendous lift in the atmosphere. There's going to be all sorts of little disturbances that can kind of poke up a thunderstorm, not necessarily a thunderstorm, but a downpour or so. And so Tuesday we'll have rain around, and it'll be kind of on and off as we go throughout the day Tuesday. And then Tuesday night, you see what's coming at us. Area of low pressure, a strong one in Kansas. You've got severe weather on the leading edge of it. On the kind of top end or the northern end of all that severe weather, it just turns to a general heavy soaking rainfall. And that's where I think we'll find ourselves as we go on into Tuesday night and Wednesday. I think we'll get a good soaking of rain around here as this pushes through. All right. Unfortunately, our high-res models don't quite make it through the storm system. We'll be able to get a better look at it tomorrow. So we have to go towards some of the global models. So let's do that. So this is the Euro, and notice it agrees. We'll have some on and off showers and downpours around here on Tuesday with some dry hours in between. Tuesday, we really start to warm up, though. Should make it into the 50s. And then as we go into Tuesday night and Wednesday, that's when the system actually moves through, all right? And it comes through with the soaking rain. Our wind will go from a gusty south wind on Tuesday night to kind of calm around here Wednesday morning as the low pressure goes right over us. Few things about a strong low when it goes right overhead. Migraine sufferers are going to feel it, all right? The other people that are going to feel it are you folks that, and I know there are some of them, are the folks that feel storm systems. You know what I mean? Joints start to ache. You know, I don't know, because I don't feel storm systems. I just see them in forecasts, right, when I do my forecast. But you're probably going to feel this low as it comes through. All right, so just a heads up. You know, if you need to pop an ibuprofen in advance, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying Tuesday night and Wednesday is when you're going to feel the storm system, okay? And it's going to be a pretty deep low, 984 millibar low. That's not really a slack, low pressure coming through. And notice how as that goes through, we kind of catch a break. The wind will kind of back off. All the wind will be rotating around it and kind of flowing in up above us, if that makes sense. And the rain will kind of back off. And so Wednesday morning, we'll likely have a few showers around, but we'll see on radar, everything will be rotating over us Wednesday morning for that rush hour. Kind of trippy, right? So we'll have some showers around. We'll still be fairly mild Wednesday morning, but temps will start to slide back. And Wednesday is our transition day. The system's going to go from the warm side to the cold side right over us from Wednesday morning to Wednesday night. And so this is one of those days on Wednesday that you're going to want to pack the winter gear, despite the fact it's going to be mild in the morning, because that commute home is going to be a little bit different. Kids, too, as they're going to school. So here's Wednesday as we go through time. Notice how we are now up to Wednesday night. The low's up in Michigan now. It's starting to relax a little bit, but it's still a powerful low. but we're going to go from kind of a calm wind and just kind of a drizzly light rain kind of setup to all of a sudden the wind will start to gust in the afternoon. We'll have another renewed area of rain that comes in, and that will change over and mix with it first, but then change over to wet snow as we go into Wednesday night. And then Thursday, much different day. This is Thursday morning. We will have some snow around. What I think the snow is going to do, I think it'll coat a lot of things, but I don't think it's going to be too problematic. I don't foresee, crazy rush hour or anything like that Thursday morning. We'll have to keep an eye on it because there could be a burst of heavy snow as it's moving out, but the longevity of it is not there. This thing isn't going to last long. It's going to be out before we know it, and much of our Thursday is actually going to be quiet once this heads out. So you see how that moves through? We get the rain changing to snow Wednesday night. Thursday, we're dealing with some snow, mainly early in the day. We'll have a much colder day with a gusty northwest wind. That lasts pretty much all day, and then that wind will relax by Thursday night. But you notice we're not dealing with any snow by Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. And then Friday, we're still on the colder side. This is an interesting system that's been showing up in the modeling. There's still some really warm air down to the south. Tennessee's not going to feel any of this cold air from this. I mean, it is truly becoming spring down in the deep south because this cold air is not reaching them much anymore. So they'll stay warm. So we have warm air to play with 2 days later with this storm system. Area of low pressure comes through Missouri or somewhere around there. And notice how there's kind of this deformation band of rain and wet snow that forms on the northern end of this low. Remember, most of the moisture has gone out with that last storm system. So the Gulf of Mexico needs to replenish that moisture. And there's just not a lot available yet for like areas like Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky. But for us, what we've got is cold air that's still here. We've got warm air pushing up against it. So that's going to create a strip of real estate that has good lift over it. All right. That's why this system looks kind of weird. We don't have the moisture returning out of the Gulf, but we've got a good push of northerly air and southerly air coming together. So you get this deformation band. That's what we call it. And then it looks to set up somewhere close to us. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Those, if they are snowy in the wintertime, can put down some serious totals in a hurry in a very narrow band. The good news is for us, I mean, this is March 7th, all right, when this hits. So our sun angle is getting much, much higher, right? We're in meteorological spring now. We've got a lot of sun energy and it's only increasing. And so I could see it being maybe rain with some wet snowflakes mixed in kind of setup, all right? We're still going to be cold, but again, that sun angle is going to help us. So then that heads out. That's really all we get from that storm system. That's all really anyone gets. Cold air kind of gets renewed as it drags back in behind that. So unfortunately, we're talking another weekend next weekend with cold air around, which I'm not happy about. Can we just have a warm weekend? All the warm days are during work days. I know how we feel that. So there's that. And then that system heads out, and then we have a cold weekend next weekend. And once you know it, it warms up right when it's time to go back to work the following Monday. And so this is the last thing I want to talk about in terms of the forecast. And I've got a couple other things to show you. This is that big ridge that's going to be out west next week. This finally moves in, all right? And I'm telling you, this looks like spring, and it looks like spring for a couple days, at least 2 out of this, all right? And you can see kind of the setup. What's going to drive this thing is going to be a high pressure that heads off the East Coast, all right? In the summertime, we're typically talking Bermuda highs that set up near Bermuda or, a little bit further down to the southwest. But what that does, it kind of sits there and blocks any cold air intrusions, and it gives us a steady diet of southwest wind. And you can see it here on the modeling. This is Tuesday the 11th, all right? Again, we mentioned this in a post last week, seeing this coming, and it still looks to come to fruition. Strong southwest wind. Our air is going to be coming out of Texas and Mexico, where we all know it's much warmer than here, right? And that moves in on Tuesday. And notice we still have that strong flow on Wednesday. The question is in the modeling, and rightfully so, this is a week away. The question in the modeling is, when does that ridge break down? In the summertime, the ridge usually holds for weeks, all right? This time of year, well, that cold air is still pretty potent. So the Euro brings a front through here on Wednesday. So we get a good 2 days of warm air. It starts really, Monday's our recovery day. Tuesday's when we really feel it, and then next Wednesday. And this could come with some thunderstorms along it. There's not a lot of time to get that Gulf of Mexico moisture returned to this because the wind's going to be coming more out of Mexico versus the Gulf. But once the system comes in, we will have to watch for a thunderstorm risk next Wednesday, says the Euro. The models kind of differ on this, but something we have to watch for. And then when that goes by, we get a hit of cold Might have a little bit of snow action with that, and then you notice in the later next week some kind of big storm system the following weekend. Doesn't look pretty right now. So that means the next 2 weekends don't look great. I mean, we're cold next weekend, but mainly dry. And then the following weekend, we may be dealing with some kind of big storm system. Okay. Good news is most of the snow with these is getting further north, right? So there's that. But overall, pretty active pattern from here. All right, here's that ridge I wanted to show it to you. Here's our warmth this week. I mean, we get our first ridge really in the last month and a half around here, but here it is right here. This one right here, big old ridge is going to get hot down in the desert Southwest. This is next Sunday, a week from today, and then watch how that slides east. But it doesn't stay too long, says the Euro, because we get this big trough in here right after it. But at least, it'll bring us some of the warmest temperatures of the season. How warm are we talking? Well, we get a little warm this week again. We'll be in the 50s. I know it's not, with the wind that we had last week, pushing 60 degrees. Cold air is not as cold behind it, so that's good news, right? And then the Euro has us in the upper 60s next Tuesday, and then 62 on Wednesday. I would agree with the 60s. I probably wouldn't go 70s at this point, although we're certainly capable of it. But 60s not bad, and then the cold behind that's not that bad, right? Back to the 40s. So you can just kind of tell. I mean, we're getting close to spring, right? And we're in meteorological spring, which is the one that counts for me in my job. But overall, we're dealing with just some, temperatures that aren't too bad. They're not as bad as they have been. So we are starting to moderate. And then the last thing, go ahead and throw your questions in the chat if you guys have them. But the last thing I want to show you, I want to remind you, typically in the wintertime, we don't talk drought, right? Because it's snowy. We're not worried about, watering the garden or how much ground moisture we had typically. And typically in the winter, we kind of renew everything through snowfall or through heavy rain events. But we are still in a drought here. Our drought has actually gotten a little bit worse over the winter. And it's something, obviously, as we go into spring, that's going to be a little bit more near and dear to our hearts as we start to think about gardens and our farmers start to get to work. So we are in a drought here, and you can see a lot of the Midwest is. In terms of our local drought here, you can see it extends all over Michigan, Indiana, into areas of Illinois, and we've got a moderate drought across, this strip here, this Tanis strip. This technically isn't a drought in the yellow. It's abnormally dry, but it's droughttish enough that, we need to make sure we get some rain out of the system this week. So that's one of the reasons why. I mean, we've had some decent moisture around here recently with these last couple rains, but that's one of the reasons why that I'm not too concerned about a huge flood threat. And anything that we get from the system that's going to come in, I mean, we could use. We really could. Our ground moisture needs it. The problem is, and I think, and Tom brought this up earlier, was the fact that a lot of times this time of year, our ground is frozen, and so that rain can't go deep into the ground. The ice and the fact that we've been really cold actually keeps it from sinking in. It just flows directly into rivers and streams and then goes out in the lake. So that doesn't help things. So the good news is we're going to warm up, over the next couple days above freezing. We should be able to melt some of that permafrost layer basically that we have. And we should be able to soak some of this in. All right. We're not going to be able to take all of it in because our ground is still going to be frozen down to certain depths. But again, this is going to be helpful this week. So I don't want us to kind of be negative about any rainfall events we have coming up, all right? Because we could use it. We do not want to go into the spring and then especially into summer with a drought. You never want to start with a drought because that can only get worse as you go on. It's okay to kind of have a wet spring and then let things dry out in the summer. So there's that, okay? So that's all I've got for you guys. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, throw them in the chat. Happy to answer them for you. And I hope you guys are doing well. I really do. I hope you see the positive in our forecast. I mean, the cold isn't as cold. The warm is getting warmer. We are going to be there soon. I think I did a post, or no, it was actually on the TV side of things. How many days until our leaves are out? I took the average of the last 5 years, and I think we're down to I think it's 40 some days, 47 days or something like that until our leaves on average would start poking out. So we're almost there. We bring the clocks forward next week. That helps our sunsets. It doesn't help our sunrise, but there's that. All right. Stacy says, oh yeah, Stacy gets headaches. Yep. Yeah. Well, Stacy, I give you the heads up on this one for sure. And again, if you missed this part of the broadcast, and Marianne has been dealing with it too. Yep. So in terms of this part of the broadcast we're talking about here is this low pressure that comes in is going to be right over us Tuesday into Wednesday. All right. So If you suffer from migraines when storm systems move in, if you're just someone that has achy joints when a storm moves in, this is one that you're going to feel this week, okay? Again, Tuesday night and Wednesday, the low will come right over us. It's a big low. When a low's over you, it's not bad weather-wise. The wind actually goes fairly calm, and the weather gets kind of quiet while everything's kind of circulating around you. But in some lows you don't feel because a lot of low pressures are weak. But this one is a pretty strong one coming in this week with a lot of wind energy. We'll get a lot of rain out of it, as we talked about, and you'll probably feel it. So again, Tuesday night, Wednesday for those folks. And a lot of you feel it a little bit earlier. You probably feel it Monday night, Tuesday, as that low pressure is going down or as that pressure is coming down. Let's see. Fernando says, yeah, very good, Fernando. I'm hearing you're approving me for a couple of days off work. Yes, got it. I will write the permission slip, Fernando. Very good. And again, these days off, if you guys, we're talking March 11th through the 13th, somewhere in that time range for these warmer days. These days off, if you're planning on calling off work, you need to develop that cough a couple days prior. So that Friday when you're leaving work, out ahead of the next week, since it starts kind of Monday, Tuesday, that Friday is when you need to, oh man, I'm not feeling well. I just need a weekend to recover. I hope I should be better by Monday. And then you make the call on Monday, oh man, I just, remember that cough on Friday? It really got a lot worse. Problem is, people are really sick this time of year. I'm just talking to someone tonight, one of our friends, that the whole family has norovirus. And, I shared last week, I had a whole week off work, which I don't like to take any time off work other than vacation. Our whole family had the flu, and I got pneumonia from it. And a lot of you had the same thing. It's just, what a winter, right? Let's just get this out of here so we can get outside and get rid of this again. Pearl says, got to fix those weekends. Come on, spring. I know, Pearl. That is always a struggle around here. And even in the summertime, we've had weekends where the rain just lines up every single summer weekend, or the rain lines up every weekend in the summer months. You know what I'm trying to say? I remember times like that where, like, finally a dry weekend. It just doesn't always line up that way, but hopefully we can get things changing here. Interesting, Maxwell. Yeah, I mean, we're getting close to it for sure. Sun's almost lining up with those the east-west roads. Yeah, very good. Yeah, be careful driving morning and evening. That's right. Maxwell, great point that you bring up there, and that's true. I mean, you guys have probably noticed it on your commutes in terms of, the roadway that, over the winter time, you didn't have to deal with the sun glare, and now you're like, oh man, that sun, why is it right there? You can definitely see that it's shifting for sure. Vicky says we're flying out of Chicago on Friday. So Vicky, you're flying out on Friday. Friday looks okay. Yeah, we'll be fine on Friday. This system will be out of here. Here's your Friday weather. So this is the only thing we have to watch is this low pressure down to the south. And again, this is going to have some kind of band of rain or snow on the northern end of it. It would be moving in Friday morning, so it wouldn't be much of a factor. And again, it may not look like this. I don't want you to see this and say, oh my goodness, there's a band of heavy snow moving in Friday morning. Give it time. This system's off later this week, and it's not being grabbed by the sensors on land right now. It's just being kind of surveyed by global models that's out over the ocean. So we don't have a good feel for it. I don't really like the look of it when I look at it, just because it doesn't look like a storm system that we typically would see and kind of how it evolved. So it may have a little bit different look to it when it moves in later this week. So you should be fine. All right. Hidden to California. Very nice. James and Nancy, good call on the wind. So I think we'll have gusts 25 to 35. I don't think they get too out of control with this. Let's look here real quick. I didn't bring it up because I didn't see it as being a huge issue. So here you go. So here's the wind. This is tomorrow. 20 to 25. And then these little gusts, these green areas that you see Tuesday night, that would be with the actual line coming through with any thunderstorms that develop. We could have some real gusty downpours with the front as it comes in. And that would be Tuesday night. And then remember, the low goes over us. So look what happens when the low goes over us. This is Wednesday morning. You get all this strong wind energy around us, but we're not going to have strong wind here as long as that low passes over us on Wednesday. But then that colder air comes in, and that's where we get the stronger wind gusts on the backside of it. So Wednesday night into Thursday, Euro showing gusts 30 to 40 perhaps, and that would be with snow flying around, all right? So there's Thursday morning. Those strongest gusts are going to be near the lakeshore. This is going to kick up Lake Michigan again. I think for most of us, though, we'd have gusts 25 to 35, like I said, and that would be strongest winds would be on the back side of this with the cold air coming in. That would be Wednesday during the day, Wednesday evening into Thursday. But great question though. Yeah, Maxwell, thank you. That sounds good. Maxwell's our lightning photographer. He just takes amazing pictures. Just be careful, as always. I have to say that as a disclaimer. Jeff says timing on the snow Wednesday night. Be driving back from Lafayette. Okay, let's look at it. Wednesday night. Let's look. I'm sorry. I was trying to think. I was trying to think of the timing on my own without looking at this. So Wednesday we would still have rain. I'm going to check the GFS real quick too. Wednesday we'd still have rain, and then Wednesday night, if you're coming north, you're probably going to have rain changing over to snow, Jeff. I would say, man, like 10 o'clock at night, maybe 8 to 10, somewhere around there, Wednesday evening. And it would be, I don't see anything particularly heavy with this. It would, again, I think it would kind of plaster everything with maybe a half an inch to an inch. That's kind of what I see with this. What we need to watch though, like Wednesday night, I don't think you're coming back that late. But if you're coming back like overnight, that's when we may tie into a little bit of lake effect. All right. And that band but it would be out like LaPorte County, out towards the South Bend area. So I'm not too worried about that. I think it would just be a general half an inch to an inch before this thing gets out. So I don't think it'd be that big a deal. But if we are having a snow shower, Jeff, and we have, 40 mile per hour winds with it, with gusts, that could cause some problems. All right. But I don't really see it as being too big of a deal. Let's check snowfall amounts. Yeah, not a lot. So this is the system this week. I mean, there's going to be heavy snow in the northern end. We don't have to deal with that. And here you go. Here's your general half an inch of some wet snow. And keep in mind, we'll have a lot of rain around prior to that. So a lot of it, you guys can picture it. After a rain and it gets cold, you get kind of that wet snow, and it's kind of hodgepodge in your grass. It kind of sticks to the trees a little bit. That's the kind of snow I picture this being, and I don't think it'll be a big deal. We're not going to have a ton waking up Thursday morning, half an inch to an inch as it looks right now. Notice it's got a little heavier burst over here out towards LaPorte County, and that's again that lake effect, which would be very brief, and then it's out of here. Let's go snowfall all the way through March 17th. This is a nice image, maybe an inch. That's it. So that's some good news. Everything gets pushed north this time of year, so it's some really good news. So again, we keep the positives coming. So there's that. You're welcome. James and Nancy, you're welcome. Jeff, yeah, so you're coming home around 9, yeah. So I do think you will experience that changeover where we'll go from showers over to snow showers, but I don't think there's going to be a big consistent area of snow moving through. I think it'll be more scattered. I know the Euro has kind of like a big consistent area of light snow. I think it'll be scattered, it'll be windy, and you'll encounter snow showers, but in terms, I mean, think about the other things, like your road's going to be fine because the air temperatures are just going to be coming down. We're not dropping to like 10 all of a sudden. So road temps should still be in the upper 30s, low 40s for your drive. So as long as that snowfall rate doesn't get crazy heavy, which I don't see it getting right now, you'll be just fine. Yeah, it does, Maxwell. And again, I said this last week, in terms of that sun on March 1st, for some reason, anytime we hit March, meteorological spring starts, sure, but if you get out in that sun, you're like, man, that feels so much stronger than it did in February. It's incredible, the growth for that energy from the sun. So March is really our transition month where we start to go from, oh, we're stuck in winter, this is awful, like, were we ever going to get out of it, to there's some glimmers of hope early in the month, and then by the end of the month, typically we're like, wow, like there's like 3 or 4 days in a row that are actually nice. April can be fickle as well. But in April, we're tired of like 40s and 50s. That's what we get sick of. Right now, we're tired of teens and 20s, and we're getting out of that. So, we've got some really good days ahead of us. And the good news is we're coming out of it, going towards nicer weather versus, sometimes in the fall when we're coming out of that, going towards worse weather. So, lots to be optimistic about. And then added daylight certainly helps, but we made it for sure. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. As always, I'm humbled. I'm appreciative of each and every one of you spending time on your Sunday evening with me. I hope you got something out of it. I hope this is helpful to understanding kind of what's coming our way this week. Don't forget us on the radio side of things, X-Rock 103.9, Indiana 105.5, and Z107.1. Also, the Lakeshore FM. We are on there with our region weather forecasts all day, every day. So make sure you tune into those stations. And you guys have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning on regionweather.com. We'll have a little post for you. sitting in your inbox. And if you're not signed up for that, you can head over to regionweather.com. Right on the right-hand side, you can sign up for your daily email. It's your daily weather report that I type up, and we'll make a pretty picture for you too, so you can understand what's going on. All right. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon.